Hello learners, welcome to this channel, and in this video I'm going to solve Leetcode 138 question, customer who never ordered. So this question comes under easy category. They have given a table which is called as customers and two columns which is ID and the name of the customer belong and their respective data types, that is integer and varchar. So ID is the primary key for this table. So what do you mean by a primary key? Primary key is a column which has unique and non-null values. So each row of this table indicates the ID and the name of a customer. There is another table which is called as orders with two column names, that is ID, that would be the orders ID, alright, and a customer ID, both belonging to integer data type. So ID is the primary key for this table. Customer ID is a foreign key of the ID from customers table. So what do you mean by a foreign key? Foreign key is a column which is a primary key in another table or in the same table, and it is going to provide a linkage between two or more table. So that is the um, that is the most simple way of defining a foreign key. So each row of this table indicates the ID of an order and the ID of the customer who ordered it. What we need to find is write a solution to find all the customers who never ordered anything. Return the result table in any order. So what are they telling us? Let me explain this question to you in a very simple way. There are two tables, okay? Imagine there is a table called customers, there is a table called orders. In the table called customers, there is two columns. One is customer ID and their customer name. Another table called orders with two columns, that is order ID and customer ID. And between these two tables, there is a foreign key which is order ID, which is going to provide the linkage between both of these two tables. Alright. So what we need to find is the customer who never ordered anything. And there are three ways in order to solve this question, which I'm going to explain it to you in the same video. Okay, so before that, let me go through the example that they have given below and understand how we can solve this question. Okay, so there is a example which is given, that is customers table and orders table. Okay, so these are the customer IDs and these are the names of customers. This is the order ID and these are the customer ID. So this ID and this ID, though the names are same, but they are not, does not mean the same thing. You know why? Because this is the customer ID and this is an orders ID. So there's a huge difference. Okay, but this and this are same because this is also orders customer's ID and this is also customer's ID. Okay, so whenever you're joining both of the table, you have to make sure that only the name should not be same, the values should be comparable and understandable. Only then you can say that, oh, both of these values or both of these columns means exactly the same thing. Okay, so here as you can see in the orders table, the customer 1 has order id 2. It means that customer 1, which is Joe, has ordered something. Okay, and customer ID 3 has a order ID 1. So it means that Sam, which is customer ID 3, right? So Sam has ordered something with the order ID 1. So leaving Sam and Joe, it would be Henry and Max who have never ordered anything. So that should be returned in the output table. So yeah. So let me explain it to you the first way how we can solve this question, which is very simple. What we can do is we can perform a join between the customers table and orders table. And what kind of join we can perform, because there are different kinds of join: left join, right join, inner join, outer join, right? So in this question we are going to use left join. Why? Because we require the name, we need to return the name of a customer who have never ordered, right? So we require this table to be very important. So I'm going to left join the customer table with the order table. So let me write the query and make you understand along the way. Okay, so from the table called customers, I'm going to alias it as C. I'm going to perform a left join. On table called orders, I'm going to alias it as O. Okay, so on you have to have a column, okay, on which you can join both of these table. So you know on which we are going to join. We are going to join on ID, which is ID in the customers and customer ID in orders table, because both of these means the same thing and the values are comparable. All right, so on c.id equal to o dot customer ID. Okay, Okay, so you also have to make sure that, okay, when how does it look when both of these are joined, left joined? So you'll be having the output table is going to look like ID, name. There is another column called customer ID and ID, and whoever have not ordered, the values is going to be null. For Joe, it would be 1. For Henry, it is going to be null. For Sam, it is going to be 2. And for Max, it is going to be null. So it means that whenever the ID is null, that are the person those are the persons who have never ordered. So I'm going to put it in a condition. So whether we need to use a where clause or a having clause, since we're not using any aggregate function over here, we are going to use a where condition. Okay, so where the condition here is o dot id, which is o is nothing but orders table and id is nothing but this one. If it is null, that time we need to return those names. So those names are the they which is they have never ordered anything. Okay, so id is null, meaning that order id is null, so that those those customers have never ordered anything. Okay, so that is what I'm going to write it over here is null. I'm going to need their name. So if I wanted to want that, I'm going to use the select. Okay, and what I need their name, right? So it is present in customers table, which is aliased as c. So c dot name, and what it is named in the output table, it is named as customers. So I'm going to copy this and alias it as customers. All right, so let me run this code and see whether it passes all the test cases or not, so that we can go for the next solution for the same question. Okay, it's running. Okay, it's running. Okay, I think I have minimized this. Yeah. Okay, so as you can see, it is accepted and they have considered the same example and it is same as the expected output. So let me submit it and show you whether it passes all the test cases or not. Then we can go for the next solution. Yeah, it passes all the test cases and it is accepted. The second solution which I came up for this question is, what we can do is we can perform an inner join of customers table and orders table. After performing the inner join, it is only going to consider those customers who have ordered. So what am I going to do is, I'm going to put it in a common expression table and name it something, whether it's snake, anything. Okay, so let me show it to you how am I going to do it along the way while I type. So from the table called customers, I'm going to alias it as c. I'm going to perform inner join on table called orders o on what? Same as the first solution, that is c dot id is equal to o dot customer id. All right, and I'm going to select the c dot id. So what happens is I have all the IDs of the customers who have ordered. So and I'm going to place it or store it in a common expression table nick. Okay, so what am I going to do? You don't need, the purpose of this question is we need to find the customers who have never ordered, right? So I'm going to exclude that. So what am I going to do is I'm going to take the table called customers. I'm going to put a condition where id not in select id from nick, and we need to select the name and alias it as customers. Okay, so let me explain it to you. So what first I did was I performed an inner join between customers table and orders table. So after performing inner join, this table will be having only the customer's name who have ordered. So only the customer's ID, okay, who have ordered. Why did I consider ID? Because ID is the primary key and it is going to be unique for each person. So the the person name can repeat, but the ID is going to be unique. That's the reason that I have taken ID. Okay, and I have stored it in a table called nick. Okay, after that what I did was, from again the table customers, I have placed a condition if the ID, that is this ID, if it is not in the ID of this table, that is this table nick table will be having only the customers who have ordered. So that is if we take ID which is not present in customers who have ordered, we are going to get the IDs of customers who have never ordered. That is the same purpose, right? So then what I did was I selected the name and aliased it as customers because that's what they want. So let me submit it, sorry, let me run it and see, whether it is accepted. Okay, no, it's running. Let it run. Okay, yeah, it's accepted, see. Okay, let me submit it and see, if there are any errors or it is accepted or not. Well, it is accepted. Okay, yeah, that's the second solution. For the third solution, how you can do is, let me remove this. Okay, okay, so the third solution is really simple. We are going to use subquery. That's the same. Okay, I'm going to perform the same inner join. So from the table called customers, C, okay, I'm going to perform inner join orders O on C.id equal to O dot customer ID, and I'm going to select the C.id. Okay, the difference, there is no such more difference between the second solution and the third solution. In the second solution, I stored it in a common expression table, and here I'm going to use a subquery. That is only the difference we can see over here. The logic is same. So here, after performing the inner join, here it will be having the IDs of all the customers who have ordered, which is contract contrast to what we actually require. So I'm going to filter it. So from the table called customers, where customers, I'm going to alias it as C, okay, or you don't, it doesn't matter. So C dot ID not in this. So what happens is, it is going to get the customer IDs who have never ordered. But what do we require in the output table? We require the name, that is C dot name, and aliased it as customers. That is what they need. That's the name that they want. Okay, so let me submit it and show it to you whether it gets accepted or not. Okay, it's running. Yeah, it got accepted. Good thing. Let me submit it and see whether it passes all the test cases or not. And voila, it passes all the test cases. Great. All right, that is the solution for the question 138, Leetcode customers who never ordered. In this video, I have given 3 solutions in which you can solve. One by using a left join, other by using a inner join, and that is by using a common expression table. And third one is pretty much same, but by using subquery. All right, I hope you have understood this question and the solution. And thank you for watching. Have a great day.